Welcome back, everybody. This is part two, or the follow-up video to the MK47 1,000 round torture test that we attempted to do in real time. It's been 8 days. I did that for a couple reasons. Number one, just to see all the questions that the viewers were asking about the test and results. So I got all those in, at least up until now. And also to see how the fire clean did with the corrosive ammo, because we fired, I believe, 60 or 90 rounds, I can't remember which, of the M67 through the gun, which is definitely corrosive. So we're going to see how the fire clean did. Also, maybe if the nitride treatment of the rifle held up to that. Additionally, I've actually just not 10 minutes ago ripped the rifle apart and found out the reason we were having those malfunctions. So we'll get into all that and show you how well the fire clean does at cleaning up the mess from this test. Before we get on to the cleaning, I'll show you what the malfunction causing problem was, if you will. This is exactly how I found it. I have not changed anything at all. I have not adjusted any screws. And what you might notice when you first look at it, like I did, is that there's a gap there that there shouldn't be from the gas block to the shoulder of the barrel there. So if you actually grab it at this point, just with finger pressure, not sure how easy that is to see, but it's actually moving. So there's about a 99% chance that the reason we were having those malfunctions there is the gas port there on the barrel is not aligned with the gas box. So no gas was moving through there. And you can also see here we had a little bit of seepage around the hole there. Not bad. That wouldn't cause an issue. But I mean, I can turn it that much so you guys can see just by hand. So I mean, I can actually, let me see. Yeah, I can pull it right out. So that's the issue. And you can see there, the barrel there is dimpled, but under that kind of heat, even with some Loctite, I'd be willing to bet that that Loctite just got so hot it lost its grip. So maybe, if they wanted to improve the system, maybe a pin there would be a little bit better in terms of durability. Again, for most folks, guys, you'd never see that. I mean, highly doubt any normal conditions most folks would see that. But I mean, I measured that gas block there in the video and we were getting over 500 degrees. So that temperature just probably caused the movement, and that's probably exactly what did it. But you can see there's no real erosion either on the gas port. So that's sort of a good thing. Shows the nitride treatment and the surface hardening there is doing its job. Getting into the cleaning process, if you guys actually look in this photo I took just a couple minutes ago, you can actually see the rifling still looks really good. So again, another testament there to the nitriding, even with that barrel getting really hot, and now it has, I don't know however many rounds through it, about 1,800. The rifling still looks really sharp, even though it's just a little bit dirty there. So that's definitely, again, another positive there for the nitriding. For the cleaning, I'm just running a patch through the barrel here to get the gunk out of there initially at least. But the barrel was treated with fire clean first, so the stuff really should come out pretty easily. One thing I'll note about the chamber there, guys, a lot of folks were posting in the comments section that the direct impingement system is what caused the malfunctions. I mean, I suppose the actual gas port being part of the direct impingement problem is possible, but really it wasn't all that dirty. It certainly wasn't dirty enough to cause the malfunctions that we were seeing there. It really was the gas block, but it's definitely dirty for sure, at least in terms of inside of the chamber, as you can see. But the bolt, I haven't wiped this down yet, guys. That's the bolt right there as it came out. So, just per fire clean's instructions, if you actually just wipe it down after their treatment, it really is pretty darn clean. So the bolt I was relatively impressed with in terms of the lack of gunk and grime on there. And actually on the outside of the carrier as well, not too bad. So that very well could be due to the angled cuts in there. When I did my AimSurf Plus V2 review, I talked about how it kind of pushes the grime aside. And you guys can see there from looking in the side of the upper receiver there, the grime definitely was in there, but it was not on the bolt carrier groove. So that worked as designed. Some folks in the comment section also suggested that the gas tube itself or the key here on the carrier may be clogged. I'm not sure if you guys can actually see in there at all. There's enough lighting, but I can assure you it's not clogged at all. That wasn't the issue, not even close. Firing pin here is definitely pretty nasty, but as you can see, it really does just wipe right off. So that's a function of both the actual chrome finish on there as well as the fire clean, obviously. So comes off and pretty close to as good as new. Same here on the charging handle. Not too bad. A little bit of grime on the inside there. You can see that. But again, wipes right off. The inside of the upper receiver really was the nastiest part of the gun, I guess you could say. So while dirty and grimy, it certainly still looks okay in terms of function-wise, because the fire clean there, as you can see, Still keeping it wet, even with the heat, which is what you want for your ARs. You want to keep them lubricated. They tend to run okay when they're dirty and lubricated. You just don't want them dry and dirty or anything like that. Really, you don't want them dry in anything. So you always want to keep those lubricated. And it seems to have done the job pretty well. And just that cursory cleaning, it's got a lot of that gunk out. We'll wipe it down a couple more times here, just with these paper towels, and show you the result here in a second. On the lower here, everything pretty much looks okay. The trigger's not too dirty, not too grimy, as you expect. Only 500 or 600, I should say, rounds, because I did actually just wipe it down after the initial attempt I made at this test. But you can see here how the buffer looks. Not too bad in terms of dirt, but I know one thing that a lot of folks were really concerned with was how the steel pin up front would hold up. And you can see there from the top, as well as pictures of them rolling from the bottom. It's held up just fine. A little bit of finish wear, but other than that, in terms of function and durability, it's going just fine. We got a little bit of buildup here in the extractor, but not too bad. And you can see the surface of it. A lot of folks are concerned being 9310 steel. You can see it's holding up just fine. A little bit of surface wear, but that's about it. It still has its shape and should still be extracting those rounds as intended once we get that gas system back operational. Well, there you have it, guys. Everything's all wiped down real time. That didn't take me more than 10 minutes and works as described there with the fire clean. It definitely just pulls the carbon right off. We'll go ahead and actually Loctite down that gas block and reassemble the gun and finish up here. Put the gas block in there with some red Loctite, so we should be back in working order. Hopefully down the road we'll put more rounds through this rifle and see how it turns out and see if that actually fixed the problem. I pretty much believe it will. There was no other issues at all that I could see with the rifle. The fire clean stayed on there just fine. The rifle was lubricated even after that heat and those rounds. So on that note, the fire clean did really well. Also on that note, it prevented a lot of corrosion because I didn't see any at all. So certainly did well there. But a lot of folks posted, underneath that video, what did we learn by this? We learned a few things. Number one, like I just said, the fire clean held up really well to the heat, which it's got a reputation for, so it did well there. We also learned that, perhaps even while dimpling a gas block, it may still be a weak point if it gets extremely hot. Now, most folks will never get their rifles that hot. In any sort of, civilian defensive situation, you're probably not going to put more than 10 to 15 rounds at most through any sort of firearm. So for most folks, it'll be just fine. And up until I did this test, it was just fine. I mean, I had, 1,200 rounds through it with no issues. So I suppose it's sort of a learning point for everybody here. Hopefully some of the viewers, hopefully the folks at CMMG and other folks looking to do rifles like this. A lot of people also said the gas direct impingement system was what was causing it, and the dirt and fouling in the chamber. It wasn't. And that didn't surprise me. There's plenty of ARs out there that have gone through some pretty high rod counts in short order and done just fine, provided that they stay lubricated. So that's really about it, guys. If you have any questions about this video, the cleaning, the process, what happened with the rifle, by all means, post below in the comments section. You can also post over at my Facebook page as always. But thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for subscribing, and I hope to see you in the next video.